All right, welcome to another deep dive, everybody. Today we're going to be talking all about Get Rich Quick Wallingford.
I'm excited to be here.
So the goal of this deep dive is to get a better understanding of the methods and mindset of this title character, J. Rufus Wallingford,
Yeah.
who seems to be very, very good at making money.
That's right. A man seemingly blessed with a knack for rapid wealth accumulation.
So the book opens, we're introduced to Wallingford. He steps out of a cab at a fancy hotel. And he's, this image of, the suave, successful businessman.
Oh, absolutely. He makes a very impressive entrance. He's described as having a very prosperous air about him.
Yeah.
But what's really striking is the immediate contradiction.
Oh, yeah.
Because despite this facade of wealth, he's actually practically broke at this point in the story. Less than $100 to his name.
Really?
So right from the beginning, we have this fascinating paradox.
Yeah, right. So how does he pull it off?
Exactly.
And the author throws us right into the mix.
Here with some other characters, like David Jasper, who seems to be more of the frugal type.
Right.
Edward Lamb, who's described as Wallingford's young friend.
Yeah.
And then there's this character called Blackie Daw.
Right.
So right away, we're introduced to some interesting personalities.
These early introductions were really key because they set the stage for the social landscape that Wallingford is going to navigate.
Right. So the first thing we learn about Wallingford is that he needs money.
Yeah.
She's arrived in this town, and he needs money now.
Right away. Yeah, he's in immediate need of funds.
And he has this view of money that is pretty revealing.
His perspective on money is fascinating. I mean, he basically operates under the belief that there's tons of money out there, and it's there for the taking. It's not, soldered on, as he says.
Yeah.
It's out there to be acquired.
So let's get into his business philosophy. He says this great line to Blackie Daw.
A man can always get a patent, and that's all I need, even if it's one you can throw a cat through.
Wow. That really gets to the heart of Wallingford's approach.
I mean, to him, it seems like the actual product is almost irrelevant.
Right. What he's really focused on is not the product itself, but the perceived value of the patent.
And what's also interesting is Blackie Daw's response.
Right.
Blackie Daw says, I'd go into your business myself if I wasn't honest.
That speaks volumes about the ethical boundaries, or lack thereof, that Wallingford operates within.
Yeah. And Wallingford spots this guy, Edward Lamb, right away.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this guy's going to be good for a legitimate business proposition.
He sees Lamb as someone susceptible to his charm, to his salesmanship, to his impressive presentation.
So they form this universal covered carpet tack company.
That's right.
But the thing is, Wallingford doesn't actually have a working patent.
Yeah, that's the catch. He doesn't have a working patent. And he doesn't even really have a solid idea of how to attach cloth to these tacks.
So the whole thing is a sham.
It's built on illusion and speculation rather than a concrete product.
The Lamb is convinced. I mean, he invests $1,000.
$1,000, yeah. And he only keeps $100 for himself.
Wow.
So that just shows you the power of Wallingford's personality, his persuasive abilities.
I mean, that's a huge chunk of his savings.
Yeah. He's able to basically extract capital from Lamb by projecting this air of confidence and authority.
And then immediately, Wallingford sends $150 to his wife.
Oh, interesting. That's revealing.
It seems like he always needs money fast.
Yeah, there's a hint there of maybe some financial instability beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And this idea is reinforced later on when he writes to his wife about Boston being squeezed dry.
Oh, wow.
And boasting about finding $1,000 in just 3 days.
Wow. Okay. So then there's this great scene, and this just blows my mind. Wallingford needs a car to show off this product.
Okay.
He goes to this garage owner and gets a car to use for demonstrations without paying a dime.
Yeah, he's able to secure this automobile without putting down any money whatsoever.
What?
And it's all based on his demeanor, his air of owning the entire garage.
Really?
Again, it comes down to social dynamics and the way he projects this image of wealth and trustworthiness.
It's all about appearances.
Yeah.
And then he feeds Lamb all this impressive data about a Eureka company to convince him that there's a booming market for this product.
Right. He's painting this picture of a guaranteed return on investment.
Yeah.
but it's implied that this data might be completely fabricated.
Oh, okay. So now moving on a bit.
Okay.
It's interesting to see how Wallingford can build alliances. He wins over this guy, David Jasper, who doesn't like showing off wealth, you know? He hates seeing people wear diamond stick pins.
Right. He's the opposite of Wallingford in that sense.
Exactly. So how does Wallingford get him on his side?
He does it through this blend of deference and cordiality.
Mm-hmm.
The text describes his charm as being able to charm the heart out of a cabbage, which is quite a visual.
And then there's the way he avoids scrutiny. Like when Lamb asks him for details about that tack covering device, Wallingford just skips town.
It's a very calculated route.
It makes it seem like he's above those little details.
He wants to create the impression that he's not concerned with those technicalities, those practical aspects of the invention.
Which is pretty clever because, you know, that's the biggest flaw in their plan.
Exactly. By downplaying that key element, he minimizes the glaring weakness in their whole scheme.
And it seems like Wallingford also makes a point of making his associates think that he's broke.
Oh, that's a really crucial part of his strategy.
Why?
Because by projecting this image of being financially strapped, he can subtly manipulate his partners into footing the bill for their ventures.
Wow.
It's a way for him to operate using other people's money while keeping control and minimizing his own risk.
It's brilliant, I guess, but also kind of messed up.
It's a testament to his cunning, his understanding of human psychology and how to leverage it for his own benefit.
Okay, so let's talk about the money side of things, the financial maneuvering and outright deception.
Let's get into it.
Mrs. Wallingford seems to be very aware of her husband's financial habits.
Yeah, she has a remarkably clear understanding of his boom and bust cycles.
She says, I don't want to be wondering all my life when the crash is to come.
She's yearning for stability, for a secure future.
Yeah.
She even expresses a desire to travel abroad.
Oh, okay.
Urging him to realize every dollar you can at once.
But Wallingford kind of brushes her off.
He dismisses her concerns with his characteristic optimism, you know, this unwavering belief in endless opportunities.
He says, there are 50 towns in the United States as good as this, and they've got coin in every one of them. They're waiting for me to come and get it. There's always a fresh crop of bait nibblers, and money is being turned out at the mint every day.
Right. He sees the world as an endless supply of potential targets.
Bait nibblers.
Bait nibblers, yeah. He views people as easily manipulated, and he's not really concerned with building sustainable wealth.
No, he's all about the quick score.
Yeah. And we see this manipulative side of him very clearly when he deals with the company's stock.
What does he do?
He sells his own shares while advising others, like Clover, to hold on to theirs.
So he's dumping his stock before it crashes?
Essentially, yes. It's a classic pump and dump scheme.
And Clover gets left holding the bag.
Exactly. He ends up handed the lemon, as they say.
This obviously leads to some trouble with his partners.
Right.
They confront Wallingford when they realize what he's done.
They're not happy. They even threaten him with violence.
But Wallingford manages to escape.
He does. And it's really a remarkable display of self-preservation.
Oh.
He adopts this almost pathetic demeanor, acting incredibly afraid.
Oh, wow.
And he negotiates his exit by demanding $1,000 to get away.
So they pay him to leave.
Essentially, yeah.
Incredible. Beyond the specific scams, it's really interesting to see how Wallingford uses his appearance and social skills to get what he wants.
Absolutely.
Like at the train station, just his presence, his size, and his confidence get him special treatment.
Right. The porters rush to help him with his bags, offer him cigars. He just exudes this aura of importance and wealth.
And those little gestures like handing out expensive cigars, that just adds to the image.
Yeah, it reinforces that perception of him as a wealthy, influential figure.
So now the story shifts a bit. Wallingford meets this guy, Carl Klug, who's invented a sales recording machine. And almost immediately, Wallingford spots a potential patent infringement.
This shows Wallingford's his entrepreneurial spirit, his constant alertness for new opportunities.
Yeah.
But, you know, in this case, it's an opportunity for exploitation.
Right.
He's not really interested in helping Klug. He sees a legal vulnerability that he can profit from.
So what does he do?
He offers to patent an improvement to Klug's machine.
Okay.
And give it to the company for next to nothing.
Oh.
It seems generous, But it's really a way for him to gain control.
How?
By owning the patent for the improvement, he can potentially dictate the terms of the business.
Oh, I see. So he's not just a con man. He's got some business savvy, too.
Oh, absolutely. He's a complex character.
Now, his marriage to Mrs. Wallingford also helps his image.
Yes, it adds another layer to his constructed persona of success and affluence.
And then there's this doctor, Feldmeyer, who unintentionally boosts Wallingford's reputation even further.
Yeah, he does it by talking about Wallingford's lavish lifestyle,
Oh.
which further solidifies the perception of him as a successful capitalist.
Okay, so now Wallingford gets involved with this Farmers Commercial Association.
Yeah.
And he makes this promise to get them a fixed price for their wheat.
That's right.
This sounds like a pretty big scheme.
It's a very ambitious undertaking,
Yeah.
and it plays on the hopes and vulnerabilities of the farmers. And the way he uses a chain letter to inflate the association's membership is quite ingenious, but also deceptive.
Okay.
It creates this false sense of widespread support and influence without any real financial commitment from the members.
So it's all smoke and mirrors.
In a way, yes.
And he uses this perceived strength of the association to speculate in wheat futures.
He leverages that perceived power to make a big gamble in the commodities market.
But this time, things don't go his way.
No, this time, his speculation backfires.
No.
He suffers significant financial losses.
Really?
And for once, we see him experience a period of real despondency.
He's down on his luck.
It's a rare moment of vulnerability for this usually unflappable character.
Yeah. And he even parts ways with Blackie Daw.
They both feel lost, unsure of what to do next.
But he doesn't stay down for long, does he? There's a hint that maybe he's considering going straight.
Yeah, he spent some time in Europe, and there's a suggestion that he might be thinking about legitimate business ventures.
But as soon as he gets back to America, it seems like the old Wallingford is back.
He can't resist the allure of the high life.
He checks into a fancy hotel, even though he's still broke.
He falls back into his old patterns of extravagance, hoping for that lucky solution to his financial troubles.
And then he bumps into Blackie Daw again.
Right, who's now going by the name I.B. Rush.
Oh, okay.
And Blackie's in trouble with the law.
Oh, no.
He warns Wallingford about the consequences of their past actions,
Yeah.
mentioning that their former associates are facing serious prison time.
It's a reminder that Wallingford's schemes have had real-world consequences.
Absolutely. It's a sobering reminder of the potential cost of his actions.
But even with this warning, Wallingford doesn't change his ways.
Nope.
He continues to use charm and deception to get what he wants.
He still has that knack for quickly establishing connections.
Yeah.
As he does with this guy, Joseph O'Mears.
And this leads to the formation of the retail cigar dealers consolidation, right?
Yes.
It's a new scheme, but the same old tactics.
He's still relying on his charisma and his persuasive skills
Yeah.
to manipulate people and build a business,
Yeah.
albeit in a different industry.
So finally, the law catches up with him.
He gets arrested.
And for someone who's so used to luxury, jail must be quite a shock.
It's a stark contrast to his usual lifestyle.
But then there's this twist. He meets this guy, Mr. Lott, who he knew from Battlesburg.
Okay.
And Mr. Lott has this interesting perspective on Wallingford.
He sees him as a product of the American drive to succeed, this relentless pursuit of wealth and status.
And he makes Wallingford an unexpected offer.
Yeah, he offers to buy him off, to get him out of jail,
Wow.
and then employ him in his traction business.
Really?
It's a surprising turn of events.
What does he see in Wallingford?
He recognizes Wallingford's talents, his audacity, his ability to persuade.
Even though he's a con man.
He believes those skills can be channeled into legitimate business practices.
So is this a real chance for Wallingford to go straight?
That's the big question.
Or is it just a new way for him to use his skills?
It's open to interpretation.
So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
J. Rufus Wallingford, he's charming, he's audacious, he's got a deep understanding of human nature,
Yeah.
and his moral compass is, well, let's just say flexible.
He's a master of playing on people's desires, especially their desire for wealth.
And his story really highlights the contrast between appearances and reality.
And the seductive power of get-rich-quick schemes.
And for you, the listener, what can we take away from all of this?
How can we apply these insights about persuasion and deception to our own lives?
How can we avoid being bait nibblers?
And what about Wallingford's future?
Yeah.
Did Mr. Lot offer him a genuine chance at redemption?
Right.
Or is he just biding his time, waiting for the next big score?
It's a question worth pondering.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Get Rich Quick Wallingford.
It was a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.